us. We're seeing everything right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's take these guys here in the stands and those listening around the country on Spreaker Radio through the lineup as they sit here on lap number 12. Your new leader is the number 2 of Bobby Hogue. Sitting right behind him is the 32B of Clay Daly. Your third place car right now is the 91T of Tony Tost. Right behind him, the 11X of Steve Drake. Your fifth place car will be the number 12. That is Nick Bartels. Sitting sixth behind Bartels is the 74 car of Dennis Souza. Then it's the 2R.
That's Rod Oliver from Yuba City, California.
Behind Oliver is the 22G of Guglielmani. Then it's the Superman car of Colin Weinbarger, the 27 of Ron Bartels. Then it's the 38T.
That's Dylan Thornton, the young man from Santa Maria, California.
Interesting fact about him, that young man, 14 years of age, piloting a late model here at the Budweiser Nationals. Behind them is the 15M of Corey McDonald, the 91P of Jason Pavich. Then it's Oregon driver in the 51. That is the one-man gang, Todd Sieg. Next to him is the 22. Is that the G or the X?
That's the X.
The X. The
and
22X.
That's the son.
Clark Guglielmani.
Clark Guglielmani.
And then at the back of the pack is the 5L of Cody Laney. Let's see what Cody can do here on the restart. A lot of drivers down there shaking the cars back and forth, putting a little heat in the tires, scrubbing off them big Hoosier humpers. Trying to find any advantage to grab some traction on this very dry, slick surface here. Bakersfield, California's Budweiser Nationals. Very fast 1/3 mile track.
Absolutely. And right now you can see it. We call it the Delaware restart or Texas restart.
It's California restart in the state of Oregon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those things like a redheaded stepchild. Nobody wants to really claim it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
we're going to put your leader.
Else.
We're going to put your leader, Bobby Hogue, up on the point. We're going to stack him up 2 by 2 behind him. He will set the pace. 12 laps down, 18 to go. 30 laps is the distance.
Yeah, I know we're looking up at the lead with Bobby Hogue bringing everybody to the point, but I'm still looking in the back going, what's that 5L going to do?
Well, I'll tell you, in the 5 years we've been calling this race, 3 of the drivers in the top 4 have won it. This will be interesting to see what happens here in the second half. Everybody back on the throttle out of turn 4.
4 of the top 5 have won it. You got Steve Drake, but Bobby Hogue jumping out to a big lead. Clay Daly still on the inside, Tony Tost on the outside. Drake right behind Daly, and Bartels right on the top side of Drake. Going back to back,
3 wide. Onto the front stretch. Oh, my gosh.
And Cody Laney's looking at all that going, come on, guys, get out the way.
Cody Laney now starting to make his way through traffic. He's got by 3 cars here on the first lap from the restart, working the bottom. These guys are slicing and dicing. Bobby Hogue, so smooth. Interesting line in the restart. He ran the middle groove, now runs to the bottom of turns 3 and 4, drifts it high out of the 4th turn to complete lap number 15 at the halfway point. Watching the line he's using, now up on the top of turns 1 and 2.
3 and 4 is a very traditional Bobby Hogue type of almost asphalt running where you just let the car drift up to the wall, carry that momentum, and keep going. We got 1 around.
Oh. Caution is out here on lap number 15. I'm trying to figure out what that caution is for.
Is that Oh, we got one that's stuck over here in the corner. That's Tumbleweed, Dylan Thornton.
Dylan Thornton, the 14-year-old. He stuck up on the exit. Oh, I see what he did.
He high-centered trying to go
It
off.
almost looked like he had a flat tire. He stopped right there, brought the caution. We'll see if he can get back to the hot pit and change
Absolutely,
it and get back out
because if he gets into the hot pit, he could change it, get back out still on the lead lap. He'll just go to the tail end.
Very veteran move by the young man.
Yep. Well, he may be a rookie in this class, but his dad, Dirty Doug Thornton, he wrote the book. He didn't get that nickname because he doesn't wear clean clothes.
I love it. We'll see if the kid can make his way back out. So we're 15 laps down, 15 to go at the halfway point. I want you to watch Bobby Hogue on the restart. Last time through, on the restart, he ran right through the middle, right through the slick, let the car kind of drift up and just throttled it. Feathered the throttle coming out of the 4th turn. Very smooth. That's why he is so good on this type of surface here at the Budweiser Nationals.
They don't call him the Shark for nothing. He
will-
sits there and plays with his prey.
He
and
will
sits
hunt
there
you
and
down.
hunts you down nice and smooth, nice and easy. Doesn't make any ripples until it's go time. Let's see if they're going to. Lights are out right now on the track. We still got Bobby Hogue, followed by Clay Daly, Tony Toast, Steve Drake, and Bartels, your top 5. Pace truck goes in. Bobby Hogue leading them, running that middle line once more.
Very slow pace here on the restart. Everybody back on the throttle out of turn 4. There's the green flag from Doug Ryan.
What a sneaky move there by Hogue, kind of chopping the nose of Daly before he guns it.
Look at Tony Toast with a big move. Look at Dylan Thornton, made it back on the track. He's just ahead of your leader, sliding out of turn 4. Tony Toast now moved to the number 2 spot as he got by Clay Daly. Tony Toast is coming on the bottom of the racetrack. He has got it all hooked up. Shows some color to the 2 of Hogue.
Absolutely, but that was the thing. When Bobby Hogue chopped the nose right at that start of Clay Daly, it gave Tony Toast on the high side something to run with. Made the most of it on that move.
Watch trouble in turns 3 and 4.
Lots of trouble.
My goodness.
Is that Guglielmani? Which one is it?
That is Guglielmani, the
Paul
22G.
Guglielmani. He has got the whole right side of the car up on the fence.
Showing everybody the underbelly of that baby.
He is way up on the high side of the fence. We'll try to get a picture of that up on Moxie Media and Promotions. One fortunate end of the night for Paul Guglielmani.
Yeah, Guglielmani was running up there mid-pack. Got a little loose, and up he went.
Well, that mid-pack, we've seen those guys running 3, almost 4 wide at times here in the first half of this race.
That's one of those things. When you're in that back of the pack, you got to get up to the front because you know you've got
There's no
the leaders
time.
coming.
That's right. There's no time to waste. When it's time to go, it's time to go, and these guys know that. When you've got those guys in the top 5 sitting up there, you've got Hogue, Tony Toast, Drake, Daly, and Weinberger are your top 5.
Look who's sitting in 7th.
That was what I was
Sitting
gonna
in
say.
7th. Started last after being had the lead,
Yeah.
spun it, went to the back. Cody Laney in the 5L has worked his way up to the 7th position. There is no doubt.
5 laps.
There is no doubt who the fastest car on the track is right now.
Let's call him the Code Man.
The codeman. Why? Because he cracks the code of the racetrack?
Something like that.
Okay, we
It
can
kind
see
of goes
that.
with it.
So looking at
It's
the
a
speed
temporary.
chart.
There you go.
Looking at the speed chart here, guys. The fastest lap I can see on the speed chart has been turned in by Bobby Hogue, 15.973. Second fast looks like it's Cody Laney with a 15.986. That's how close it is on the speed chart.
Yep, and Cody Laney did that one in lap number 2, and Bobby Hogue did it in lap 13.
So he is coming on in the late stages.
That's the shark, man. Find your prey until it's time to go.
Very interesting turn events. We'll see what this does.
Well, absolutely. One, not only are the tires going to cool down, and you know when these tires cool down, it's really tough to do anything. But two, now you're running on an unprepped surface with this dust and dirt and the marbles.
You talk about tires cooling off. Everybody running around on the infield behind the pace truck. Colin Weinberger, the only guy that stayed out on the racetrack through turns 1 and 2 to shake the car down, put a little heat in the tires, keep them clean.
Yeah, because you're going onto a cold track surface. At least if you stay on the racing surface, it's going to have heat already built into
Right.
it. Keep them a little warm. Now you're basically jumping out of the pool or jumping out of the hot tub and jumping right onto the pool.
Well, we'll see if he does it again here. Interesting to see what Superman is doing. The strategy he's using, trying to keep the heat in the tires. There he goes, right back on
Right
the front
back out
stretch.
there.
The only driver doing it in the place where obviously the caution down here in turns 3 and 4 through turn 1 and 2. There's Weinberger out there on the racetrack. Everybody else on the go-kart track in the middle. He's shaking the car down, keeping the tires clean. Look at the damage there, the 91P of Jason Papich. That nose has been up. Just cosmetic. You can tell it's not performance-wise, but there is
There's still something there, and it's a little aero issue. And Even though it's dirt and it's not a super speedway, aero does matter.
Well, with these cars now, the way they're set up, you want to keep that. You want to keep that downforce on the front end.
Absolutely, and with it flared up like that, it's actually going to work as a wind sail.
That's right. A lot of air getting underneath that 91P of Papich.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Tony go up behind somebody right under where their fuel tank is and kind of give him a little nudge to see if he can push it down a little bit. Because that's tough. That's tough to have it up like that with it flared.
Yeah, it's quite a bit up there.
So in the last 5 years of calling this race, we've seen Bobby Hogue win it. We've seen Tony Tost win it. We've seen Jason Papich win it.
We've seen Drake win it.
We've seen Steve Drake win it. 4 different winners in the 5 years that I've been here, because I believe Hogue has won 2 of the last 5.
Right. And Daly, Daly won the modified and the pro stock. Has not won it in the late model yet.
And then not one guy, he's not one of the guys to sleep on. You don't count him out.
To sleep on, if you're sleeping on anybody out here, you've got a serious issue.
You've already lost this one, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of talent down there on that racetrack. Now you can see as they move Googlim on his car to the infield, heavy damage to the right front. You see that whole right front tire just kind of flopping around. All that suspension is broke. His night has ended early.
That looks like heavy damage for us. That just looks like a regular setup for Steve the Snake Drake.
Yeah, there is no doubt. There is some camber in the right front of that 11X. We'll see if it works to his advantage here in the second half of the 30-lap late model feature.
I was looking at that 11X. It's not as tilted as it was earlier today. If you look at it, it's a little more straightened out.
Let's take a look as he makes his way to turn 4 here on the front stretch. We had all the fans looking at that earlier saying, look at the camber in that 11X. I mean,
look as it comes through. It's not as bad as what it was.
I'd say it's just as yeah.
It's not as bad as what it was.
I don't know. I'd have to argue that one. She's pretty laid over. Okay. 17 laps down, 13 to go. Doug Ryan, your flagman's got the green flag in hand.
Hey, let's do a tribute to Mike Mosier this next time. Let's do a Bud Light restart.
You want to do a Bud Light restart?
Let's do a Bud Light restart for Mike Mosier.
Hey, I'm always down for a Bud Light restart for Mike Mosier.
God bless the man. May him rest in peace.
You know, there's a lot of places we can go to announce races, but what an honor to sit here in the tower named after him.
Absolutely.
You know, a staple here at Bakersfield for so long, and a legend behind the mic.
Absolutely. So all of you fans on Spreaker Radio, everybody who's listening in, I wish you would stand up in your seat as you're listening to us. And as we come out of turn 4, we would love for you to say with us,
Bud Light
restart. Bud Light, here we go! Speaking of go, they were almost 3 wide going into turn 1. But Bobby Hogue on the high side, Drake on the high side as well, going around Tony Tost for the second spot.
Steve Drake, Tony Tost side by side. Tost down on the apron of turns 3 and 4. Drake right there with him. Door to door on the front stretch. Drake moves into the number 2 position just ahead of Tony Tost. He's going to set his sights on the 2 of Bobby Hogue. Bobby Hogue looks to keep his winning ways intact.
Absolutely.
Can he pull off another win here at the Bud Nationals, Mike?
Well, this one, it's an acoustic guitar. He's got like 7 electric ones. Maybe he needs to get an acoustic one, too.
He is on the top all the way through. I mean, he is up against the wall, just letting it all hang out sideways, dives to the middle groove right there through the slick, drifts to the high side out of turn 4. He is flying around Bakersfield Speedway. Drake running second. Papich, Daly, Bartels now in the top 5. Weinbarger trail breaking through turns 1 and 2. A lot of sparks off the right rear rotor.
Yeah, we're seeing sparks the whole time.
Cody Laney now on the move. He just got by Superman Colin Weinbarger right at turn 4. Cody Laney now sits in the number 6 spot and has got his sights set in the top 5. What a run going for the young man in the 5L.
We got a battle. It's going to be 3 wide very quickly for the 4th spot with Bartels, Daly, and Laney right there. This Halloween season, and Laney's coming out like a man possessed.
Look at this. He's up on the top side. He sees what Bobby Hogue's doing down in turns 1 and 2. Laney copying exactly what the Shark is doing on the high side. Now he's going to have trouble getting around the 12 of Bartels and the 32 of Daly's. They've been side by side for the last 3 laps.
Yeah, those two have been battling neck and neck, high side, low side, vice versa. And Laney's right there going, okay, guys, let's go. Because the longer it takes, the farther Hogue gets away from him.
Good race going for the second position between Tony Tost and Steve Drake. They're side by side through turns 1 and 2. Your leader, Bobby Hogue, will complete lap. He has completed lap number 25.